Beloved of my inmost heart, come some night and soon, when my people are at rest, that we may talk together.
The fire is unraked, the light unextinguished, the key under the door. Do you softly draw it? My mother is asleep, but I am wide awake. My fortune in my hand, I am ready to go with you.
My fortune in my hand, I am ready to go with you. I've learned it.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Faith?
Poppy?
Yes.
Why are you calling? Is something wrong at the apartment?
Oh, no, I just had my first impulse to make my first phone call. I wanted to say thank you to Tom and you. I never could have found a place as nice as this.
Do you have everything you need?
Everything.
How did the tenant leave it? Was it a mess?
No, only one jar of marmalade left in the refrigerator.
Well, I wanted to warn you about the teapot. Or did Tom already do that?
Oh, well, I noticed that the handle was mended. I'll be careful. I didn't expect to find you home. Aren't you usually on duty in the afternoons?
Yes, usually I am, but everything got switched around today, including Tom's schedule.
Oh, well, would he have a minute to speak to me?
He's at his office.
At the hospital?
Yes.
Isn't this the first time?
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful! Oh, he must be so thrilled to be back at work. We talked about it so often.
Yes, we're both thrilled.
Do you think he's very busy?
Yes, I know he is. I don't think he wants to be disturbed. I will give him your message later.
Oh, I didn't really have a message.
Well, I'll tell him you called to say thank you.
Oh, don't bother. I'll find some way to tell him myself. Maybe I'll write him a note. Bye.
Goodbye.
Hi, do you have a couple of minutes?
Sure. Oh, what's wrong?
It's Poppy.
I got her out of here just in time. For a change, I followed my instincts when they happened, and I was right. She had to leave. She just called Tom.
I didn't think she had the nerve.
Well, see, she thought I was at the hospital. Oh, and she does a wonderful Poor Me number. Called to say thank you for the kindness, loves the apartment, etc. I'm not real happy about having her this close, but at least she's out from under this roof.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I certainly hope so. Oh, listen to me. You didn't know your sister had a mean streak, did you?
This is not mean, and you know it. Now, that and the fact that she looks like Tom's lost lover does not entitle her to your husband.
Thanks. I need the support right now. You know, for once, I want something to have a happy ending.
And it's going to. I know this is a good time for you two. You love each other and you're married.
And you know, tonight, for the first time in a very long time, we can come home and be together alone.
Wear something wonderful.
Kidding, of course I will.
Listen, you sure you want to have dinner with us? I mean, maybe the two of us just want to stay here.
No, no. Dinner will be great because it will get the focus off of Poppy. But you don't mind if we make it an early evening?
No, no, that's all right. Anyway, after my day today, if it keeps going like this, I will need the extra rest.
It's that bad? Is it your back?
No, the back is the least of the problems. I had lunch with Seneca. Spent the whole time telling me how to think.
And I know you didn't let him.
No, but it was a struggle. There are so many things that I can't share with him, at least not now. And then if I mention Frank, he thinks I'm pining away for him, and... well, that's just not the case. I ran into Ray, or vice versa. She told me about the annulment. It went through. They're gonna have a church wedding. I don't know. I don't know if I feel sad because I think about their future together, or everything that we missed out on together, or maybe it's all of that. I know that I'm getting in touch with my feelings. I know that I don't want to have another baby, not yet. But I am getting my head together. I really am. I'm going to see Marshall today.
You are? So you're going back to work? Terrific.
Yeah. I am going to reclaim my law practice, and I am going to take charge of my life.
She wants to bury her head in law books, Marshall. Well, that's all wrong for her now. Don't let her.
Seneca, I don't think I could if I wanted to. See, we've parceled out most of Jill's cases. I'm not sure there's even a job here for her.
Oh, I see, that ties in with an idea I had. There is a job for Jill. I can make it happen.
How?
Well, you know, Nell left me a lot of money, almost $1.5 million to give to some good cause.
Yes, I've been aware of the terms of the will. I'd hoped to... well, of course, that's up to you.
No, I understand. You hoped that the money would end up benefiting the hospital. Frankly, Marshall, that's what I always had in mind, but I didn't know how. But today I got an idea for a project that Jill could direct. It would help her come to terms with Edmund's death and keep her moving in the right direction.
Hello, Johnny.
Hi there, Dee.
Listen, I noticed Kevin looks a little scruffy out there today.
No more than I do.
Well, maybe it's his attitude. I hope he doesn't scare away too many customers.
Look, Dee, no matter what you say, I'm not going to change my opinion about Kevin. I mean, he's my best friend. He's an excellent bartender, and the customers love him. Look, I am not going to fire him because he insulted you, as sorry as I am that that happened.
You mean you'd let me put you and Maeve and all your belongings out on the street?
Well, I suppose you could do that, Dee.
Well, as a matter of principle, I don't have to. Kevin said he was sorry.
He did?
Yeah. He showed up on my doorstep and begged my forgiveness.
Well, that's terrific then, I suppose. I suppose you can forget the whole thing ever happened now, right?
Forget? Forget that Kevin called me a twit? Johnny, that's like asking the jury to forget the testimony. I can't forget that. But I can forgive. And I did. See, I'm a much more generous person now than I used to be.
Well, let's face it, Dee, you got a lot more to be generous with. And I really do appreciate. I hope you understand that, Dee.
Well, I wasn't just talking about the money, you know, although I do think An investment of $83,000 ought to entitle a person to a little respect.
Everybody's entitled to respect, Dee.
Yeah, but you know, it's hard to get if you don't respect yourself.
Well, that's for sure.
And I didn't for years. I was so desperate. All I ever wanted was to be a Ryan.
Well, Dee, no matter how desperate a person is, they can still hold on to their principles.
But Johnny, I didn't have any principles. But I do now, thanks to Dr. Pagano and Roger and a lot of hard work. I've got principles, I've got a good marriage, and a lot of money. So I can love other people now. I mean, you know, I've always loved you and Maeve.
I know that, honey.
I love you, but I don't need you anymore. It's the opposite with you now, isn't it? I mean, you need me, and so does Maeve, only she doesn't know it, but you don't feel any real affection anymore.
Look, Dee, I am sorry if we gave you that impression. It's just that with all the financial business, I haven't been myself lately. And I'm sure what happened with Kevin was because of that. And look, Maeve's had a lot on her mind lately, too.
Well, you know, I bought this psychology book, and I figured maybe that you're all subconsciously punishing me for my success.
Dee, you don't really believe that, do you?
Well, it's okay if you are. But, Johnny, I have feelings, too, and they still get hurt. They don't stay hurt. Like the other day when I was in here, Maeve threw me out of the kitchen because she and Dave Feldman and Frank were talking. I felt very left out, but I worked it out, and now I don't anymore.
Well, look, Dee, it was just very awkward with Dave Feldman here and all that. It was about Patrick and Nancy Feldman. They're seeing each other.
Seeing?
Yeah, well, they're very close.
Oh. Poor Maeve.
Yeah, you got the picture. I mean, Nancy's a sweet kid and all, but, well, the Feldmans have very strong traditions, and so do we.
Well, of course. I mean, what about children? They're not talking about getting married, are they?
No, they're not. Not yet. Their philosophy is they're in love. They know there's no future for them, but they're going to enjoy it while they can. It's tearing us apart, but what can we do?
Well, there must be something. They're going to make everybody miserable.
Yeah. And themselves more than anybody else in the long run.
You know, I hate to say this, but Patty can act irresponsibly. This isn't the first heart he's broken. But Nancy should know better. I mean, poor Dave and Mrs. Feldman. You must be in a state.
Yeah, to put it mildly, we are.
Oh, Maeve's the one I really worry about. I hate for her to be upset about this. It could affect my commodities. Not that that's the main thing, but I'm gonna have to do something.
What?
I don't know, but I'll think of something. I'm really smart about these things. Well, I gotta go now. Oh, Johnny, I really appreciate you sharing your confidence with me. You won't be sorry. Thomas. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, that's quite all right.
I shouldn't be here, but I had to come. And I didn't want to bother you at home.
It's a shock every time I see you. That was her voice just now.
Did she call you Thomas? I thought she might. Tom sounds American.
Sometimes she did. Something wrong with the apartment?
No. Everything's perfect. I've never been happier. I love having your things all around me. But there's one thing I shouldn't have. I have to give you this back.
My journal.
I'm so ashamed. It was there in the kitchen when I was getting ready to leave, and I hadn't read the whole thing. I wanted to so much, so I could know her better. So I took it. I hope you'll forgive me. It was terribly wrong of me.
I already have. Right and wrong aren't that simple. Certainly not in this case.
Stealing is wrong always.
When I'm with you, I feel I'm stealing something from the past.
And when I read that, I feel as though I'm stealing my own past back again. Oh, Tom, I know I'm not Teresa Donahue, but the closer I get to her, the more I feel I'm discovering some truth in me.
I can understand that.
Even that journal. Everything I read just seemed so familiar. I knew her poem by heart the first time I looked at it. Beloved of my inmost heart, come this night and soon, when my people are at rest, that we may talk together.
That was translated from the Irish. I put it in the journal because it was her favorite poem.
Of course. The fire is unraked, the light unextinguished, the key under the door. Do you softly draw it?
My mother is asleep, but I am wide awake. My fortune in my hand. I am ready to go with you.
Tom, do you think you could come over tonight? Tell me more about Teresa and her family.
So you could understand yourself a little more?
Yes. And I think it might help you too. Well, I never lost anyone close to me. I never even had anyone close, but I have a feeling that somehow it might help you to talk and remember instead of locking her away.
Tonight?
Anytime. It would help us both.
I'm sorry, I can't. Faith and I have plans for tonight.
Oh, I see.
It won't help either one of us. It's only going to confuse us more.
But I'm not confused. I'm just trying to get in touch with who I am.
But you're not Teresa, and it's unwise to encourage the notion that you are. And it's also unfair.
You didn't even sound like Tom just then.
I'm sorry. I don't think that... I'd like to help you, but I don't think you should come here anymore.
Well, I'm sorry I disturbed you. I wish none of this had ever happened. I wish I'd never heard anything about her or you.
Jillian, how good to see you. If the rest of my day is as nice as this.
Oh, thank you. I'm ready to go back to work. I want to.
I believe you.
I need to go back to work soon.
Well, that's very interesting, because I have a proposition for you. Something new.
Not my old job?
No, we've parceled out the caseload that you were carrying, Jill. But I have a project that I think you'll find very satisfying.
All right, tell me about it.
We have a pledge for $1.5 million to renovate and reopen the Children's Neurological Wing. Now, it's a welcome offer for the hospital, but I need someone with a legal and an administrative background to pick it up and make it happen.
I've got to tell you that right now my thoughts are that I have to stay as far away as possible from anything that has to do with children.
I understand that impulse.
Don't ask me to get back on the horse.
Well, this wouldn't involve heavy day-to-day dealing with children. You'd be functioning as an administrator.
Yes, but the whole purpose, I mean, dealing with little children. I know you can find someone else.
Well, I'm sure I can, but no one with quite the same qualifications as you. The wing will be renamed the Edmund Coleridge Bolak Pavilion.
What?
Yeah, the money's being contributed by Seneca.
Oh, this is just not fair.
Well, of course, $1.5 million will just get us started. There'll have to be a major fundraising drive to do all the things we have in mind.
The Edmund Coleridge Bolak Pavilion?
Well, Seneca sees it as a memorial to Edmund and to your father, whose professional life was in this hospital.
Yeah, tell me something. Did Seneca specify that I be the administrator?
Well, that wasn't a condition, but I'm sure he feels that you're the best person for the job.
He does.
Well, he doesn't want you to bury yourself in a dry legal practice that might not be good for you.
Oh, and he thinks that this will help me cover up the death of my son. Maybe I'll think about having other children instead of shutting myself away somewhere, which he thinks is a mistake.
You know his thinking. Is this already an issue between the two of you?
Yeah, in general, it is.
Uh-huh. But, Jill, maybe I was a little naive when I talked to Seneca earlier, but, you know, the temptation of a contribution as large as this...
Marshall, I think the memorial is a wonderful, wonderful idea. But I think it is being offered for the wrong reasons. And still, I would like the hospital to have it.
Well, good, so would I.
Except that my participation in it is an entirely different matter.
Well, it seems to me that you and Seneca need to go into this thing. Please do that before you make a final decision.
Oh, yeah, I certainly will.
What if the perfect guy for you is in LA or DC or New York City? Get ready to take a holiday. A new original reality series premieres Wednesday, July 29th at 10 on SoapNet.